We just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to continue the 57-month march of March to the King, leading up to the 2018 release of Godzilla 2. So for those of you who've been following, obviously this is a series that I'm going to be doing every month leading up to the movie, so that's 57 months. Some months I might have 4 videos to put up. Some months I might have just 1. It's not a weekly series, but this month it is a weekly series. We've been covering certain monsters that have not made the cutting room floor, or have made the cutting room floor, have not made the movie into Toho movies where it should have been a Godzilla. We spoke a little bit about Star Godzilla, which turned out obviously to be a Chinese knockoff. So thank you for those of you who informed me of that. But nonetheless, it was an interesting topic, Star Godzilla. It did generate a little bit of a decent conversation in the comment section. The following week, we spoke about Mecha Mothra, and that was a very interesting one. And I said at the end of the video that this week we would cover Bagan, the very popular monster from the 1993 Godzilla game, Super Godzilla. Now, Bagan is a cool-looking monster. If you haven't seen pictures of him, I'll pull him up right here while I'm talking. And this monster is very popular amongst a lot of people. There's some people who are like, yeah, Bagan, whatever, but there's a good group of people who really are interested in this monster. And I've been hearing about this monster for a year. I've had people, I should say, ask me about talking about him, doing videos about him, want to share my thoughts. So this is a perfect opportunity to talk about Bagan because we're talking about monsters who never made it into Toho films. And Bagan was supposed to be in at least 3 Toho films. From what I've read, and again, look, this is from Wikizilla. This is the best I can find information on some of this. Some of their information is sound based on what I've read in other areas. Look, all this stuff is always questionable, so take it with a grain of salt. But from what I understand, Bagan was supposed to be in 3 Toho films. One film, he was supposed to be the protagonist in the Godzilla 1984 Return of the Godzilla movie. And this movie, he was supposed to have 3 forms, or he's had multiple forms. He was a shapeshifter, and every time he changed his shape, he'd fight Godzilla. Godzilla would beat him, and he'd change forms again, because every time he changed forms, it would heal him. And finally, when he realized he couldn't defeat Godzilla, he took on this Ultra form, which was very much more imposing, but because he couldn't change forms after that, he had no way of healing. So eventually Godzilla beat him, and that's the end of the story. Look, I'm sure it would have been a cool movie. I'm sure it would have looked cool, but I have to say I'm pretty happy with the outcome. Return of Godzilla, as you guys know, is one of my favorite, if not my favorite Godzilla movie of all time. So then he was supposed to make an appearance and fight Mothra. Hey, you gotta fight the top dog in Toho Monsters. You might as well fight the second top dog. So in this Mothra versus Bagan, Bagan is an ancient creature that is supposed to be like a defender of China and is awoken because of global warming. So obviously this is probably a movie that they had an idea for in the late 90s when global warming really started to hit its stride. And basically he woke up. Mothra, being a defender of the earth, decided to go and intervene, and the larvae Mothra and the adult Mothra combined efforts to try and defeat Bagan. Bagan kills the mother and moves on. The larvae Mothra survives, cocoons, and then finally catches up to Bagan in Singapore and defeats him. And that's the end of that story. But the reason they didn't do this movie was because after doing Godzilla vs. Biollante and the fact that it wasn't very popular with the whole new monster coming in, they scratched the idea. So that's 2 movies, 0 for 2, Bagan, 0 for 2. And, you know, it's interesting because a lot of people like Godzilla vs. Biollante. So it's unfortunate that a lot of these movies they made later on became so popular that they probably had good reason to go on with new monsters. But initially they were not. They were not popular. And that's why we never saw Biollante again. That's why we never got to see Bagan and some other monsters that I'm sure they had that didn't make the cut. So finally there was a 3rd movie planned for Bagan, and this one was just simply titled Godzilla vs. Bagan. And there's not much else known about this one. This one, there's no little script or storyline they had. It just never manifested. And that basically is your history of Bagan. Close, but not close enough. In terms of him, I know a lot of people have asked me, you know, oh, your thoughts on Bagan. I really can't really express any thoughts on the monster because I've never seen him on film. If I played Super Godzilla, I gotta be honest, I can't even remember at this point. I mean, it's been more than 20 years since since that game came out. So, and Bagan, look, he looks like a cool monster. I'm sure he would have been cool to see on screen. Would he have been powerful enough to beat Godzilla? Look, I mean, Godzilla has taken out monsters a lot bigger than himself. I mean, you know, Bagan, according to the numbers, was supposed to be 150 meters tall, which even against the tallest Godzilla, or one of the tallest Godzillas, 2014, still would have towered over him. Now, I've seen in the manga, I've seen pictures of Godzilla pressing Biollante over his head and tossing her. Biollante was not small, so, but it's really just speculation, and I can't really speculate. I mean, if I had to make a decision, Godzilla would win. I mean, I just have not seen Bagan. And in the game is not canon, so I can't really say in the game this, game that. The game doesn't mean really anything. Bottom line is, it's unfortunate we'll never get to see him. At this point, Toho looks like they're handing off the reins to America to take care of the Godzilla franchise. And with Toho out of the picture, I don't see a Bagan. If Legendary is going to do these monsters, they're going to do monsters that have the best chance of being recognized by the general viewer. And the general viewer, many years ago, used to flip through the channels and say, hey, look at this Godzilla movie, look at that three-headed monster, or look at that damn flying moth. Those are the monsters that a lot of even the general public is familiar with. So because of that, you're not going to see a Bagan. But it would have been cool. It's very cool to dream. And that's that. That's that. So Bagan, very close to making the cut 3 times, but fell short. How do you feel about that, especially if you're a Bagan fan? Do you think it's an opportunity missed? Do you think it's a right decision? And do you think there's ever a chance we'll be able to see him on screen? This is Rob signing off for ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching ETN. Don't forget to subscribe and join the Nation Facebook page. You're watching ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to continue the 57-month march of March to the King, leading up to the 2018 release of Godzilla 2. So for those of you who've been following, obviously this is a series that I'm going to be doing every month leading up to the movie, so that's 57 months. Some months I might have 4 videos to put up. Some months I might have just 1. It's not a weekly series, but this month it is a weekly series. We've been covering certain monsters that have not made the cutting room floor, or have made the cutting room floor, have not made the movie into Toho movies where it should have been a Godzilla. We spoke a little bit about